So I've ridden this bike for 3,000 miles now, which is the equivalent of going from Brighton to Glasgow in Scotland 3 times there and back. So I think I can give you a decent rider's experience of owning this machine. So I'm going to cover this in a few topics. I'm going to start with rider ergonomics. So let's start with this seat. Short journeys, really comfortable, really good. You can sit nice and snug at the front, close to the fuel tank. It's comfortable enough, but as soon as you start hitting motorway speed, 60 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, after long periods of time, it does get uncomfortable. But all in all, the seat is good. For a 125, it's nice and comfortable. Handlebars give you a nice upright position to sit down. You get a nice view of the road, and handling in general is good. As long as you're sat at the front of the seat, you can get good handling, perfect handlebar inputs. So the mirrors, the stock mirrors that come with the bike are awful. They look terrible, and they've got a annoying oval shape which limits your field of view, because half of the stock mirror is basically looking at your shoulder, but these, they kind of come out, and where the vision is most important, they are the largest as well, and they look so much better. I mean, these got them from Halfords, 10 quid each, decent. In terms of the engine, it's very reliable, never had any problems with it, aside from one problem, which has been a minor one. A common fault with the Honda CBF 125 is that in hot weather, if you put too much strain on the engine when it's like 26, 7 degrees, 30 degrees Celsius, it starts to produce this problem called the kangaroo throttle. You try to accelerate and it just stutters basically. It's not very good. You just have to shut the bike down and restart it after 5 minutes. But that's just in hot weather. I mean, I'm in the UK now, it's not going to be very warm in the summer. Brakes are decent. Front brake is very good if it's bled correctly. Mine is perfect, does the job, allows me to stop if there are idiots in the way. Rear brake, drum brake, decent. It just has to be really clean to work well. Now, tyres, they aren't the best. I've got a Contigo rear tyre which isn't good in the wet. It does have a habit of skidding out underneath me in wet weather. Dry weather's alright, it's not bad at all. Front tyre's different one, I don't know what it is. But yeah, it does the job. At high speed though, I do get a lot of speed wobble, which is quite dangerous, really dangerous actually. If I do over 70, it starts to properly shake. So it probably needs balancing or something. Yeah. This screen is a fantastic investment. It keeps some of the wind off you, keeps it off your chest area, and you just see more of the bike. It gives you more confidence. I don't know how to explain it. It also makes it look like a much bigger bike, increases the road presence, and just keeps you slightly dry when it's raining. Yeah, I got this phone mount off eBay for like 3 quid. It's decent, but I'm not really a huge fan of these kinds of things, so you put your mind off the road. Yeah, the top box is my personal preference. I got this rear rack quite cheaply, and personally for me, if my journey's all the way across London, I like to ride to a tube station and park there, lock it up, put my helmet in the top box so I don't have to lug it around with me. I just got this for like 20 quid, this top box. It's done me well. Alarm, disc lock. I think every rider should have one of these. If you are thinking of using this bike to commute in town, I highly recommend you change the front sprocket from a 16 tooth to the 15 tooth sprocket. It just gives you that extra torque, extra power to get you out of trouble, and it can shorten your journey time. Just because you can exploit that gap in traffic, you can overtake, you can do things that you wouldn't be able to do with the 16 tooth sprocket. And when are you ever going to top this out at 75? You only get a 5 mile an hour drop in top end, and because of that, I think the sprocket is a very good investment. What it does though is it changes the gear ratio, so you have to change gears more often, but it's not a bad thing. I mean, I think you're getting more out of a 125 engine by doing so. yeah, chain doesn't require adjustment. If you adjust it correctly, tighten it up, tighten everything up correctly. Haven't adjusted that chain in 500 miles. Of course, you've got the underseat storage, which is, I guess, decent if you want to carry shit. I've got a puncture repair kit here, a cheap one, better than nothing, and just random shit. It's not a very good big space, but it's better than nothing. This is just fiddly to get on and off there. Quite annoying actually. The suspension is pretty decent. I've always got these two rear adjustable shocks set at the spongiest setting. They just give you the comfort and prevent the amplification of bumps in the road. I had them set on the medium moderate setting at first, but it was way too harsh. Front suspension decent. All you're going to get, you're not going to expect from much on a 125. Non-adjustable, they're quite soft. They do the job. The dashboard is excellently laid out. You've got your speed, pretty simple, neutral light, indicators, high beam, fuel gauge, rev counter. But my rev counter doesn't work because it's a 2008 model, and I'll need to change the whole wiring loom and the engine control unit or whatever to get it working, so I'm not going to do that. Lights are good, indicators are nice and bright. It's pretty bright, no need for LED ones. Changing stuff to LED on a bike like this is a faff, as I've researched. The headlights basically run off the engine speed. I can't remember what it's called, the dynamo thingy. They basically run off that, so the higher revs you are, the brighter it will be. So if you're trying to change that to LED, you'll have problems because you can't fade LEDs. I mean, it's a light. It's good. High beams. High beams are pretty bright, pretty good. They give you what you really need. You're not going to be doing any touring on this. You're not going to be going very far. Perfect, really. Backlight's good. I'll just do a 0 to 30 test to show you how the 15-tooth front sprocket performs. Turning circle's pretty good. You've just got to develop your slow manoeuvres. To be honest, I don't think there's anything more that you would want out of a 125 than this. Before you get your A2 test and you get a bigger bike, then there's more of a range. But I think if you're going to get a motorcycle rather than a scooter, this is the perfect one to get you into it. You can get 125 sport bikes, but what's the point? You're just going to pay a lot of insurance, and there's not much of a difference in terms of performance, really. You've got to be looking at like 3-4 seconds quicker.